We are so back. This, I mean, y'all gotta understand who this person is. This is Miss Cookie Lowe, the first, I say first, commercial airline pilot.
Yes.
Women. Imagine that.
In South Africa.
In South Africa.
Yeah.
In a time where, lots of things was going on, and not some good things.
Yeah.
And for women, unbelievable. And you wanted to be a pilot. How come?
You know, the funny thing is, I've often been asked that, and I didn't get born with a passion of becoming a pilot. I stumbled on it by sheer chance, going up to take some air photography. I'm a photographer. So I went up and took some air photographs for the first time in a small plane, and I just fell madly in love with it. And I thought, wow, I'm going to do this. It's photography completely paled in comparison to the sort of thrill I felt about flying. And I decided to go for it.
Wow. Now, in my head, I'm thinking, because I know what I'm thinking in my head about certain things that's happening, being a woman going into this place. I mean, what kind of stuff did you have to endure going into to take your pilot's license? I mean, being a woman.
Well, it wasn't so much being a woman, I think it was, my biggest challenge was, and I always say that if there's anything inspiration, I think being the first of anything often is also a matter of being at the right place at the right time.
Right.
And I think if there's anything inspirational about my story is the fact that I had very limited formal education because my father got very ill, and I took over the photography business when I was 15. Mm-hmm. So when I decided, so you can imagine how much schooling I had.
Yes.
So when I decided to get my license, I mean, that was my biggest challenge. I didn't have any math, I hardly had any science. English wasn't my first language because the little bit of schooling I did in a German school. So that was my biggest challenge. Not so much being a woman, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
I totally understand that. Now, I look at, how do you feel about being a role model?
I don't know that I feel like I'm a role model for anybody.
I think you are. I think truly, I mean, for me, I understand, like a role model be like Jackie Robinson. Mm-hmm. And I know the Jackie Robinson story's coming out. And for you, it would be, being the first is cool for me because I'm looking at somebody who's actually done that. And I know this is something that I want to be.
Right.
And so I'm kind of looking up to you as being a role model that way.
Thank you.
You know?
It's very flattering.
This is why I say, I mean, what does it feel like to be a role model to all these other people out there?
Well, I think if I can inspire anybody else to live their dream and go after what they really would love to do, that would be wonderful. I mean, I think that to me is a huge gift if I can give that to somebody.
And I think so. And then, I mean, all the obstacles, because we know your parents passed away.
Right.
And then you're now by yourself, and then you becoming a pilot. And now you come to Canada and then do all these other things, and now you're an author.
Yeah, and I think that's what's so exciting about life. You never know what's around the next corner.
And this is Cookie, your pilot speaking. This is her book. And even with no formal, the education, you become a writer.
Yeah, and English isn't even my first language. I just, my son always used to say, oh, Mom, I wish you would write down your story. You've done such interesting things, and you think so differently to anybody else I know. And then one day I woke up and I thought, yeah, maybe I will. And it was the most joyous experience. It was unbelievably joyous.
Wow.
And people often say to me, well, did you keep a diary? And I said, no, because I think when you're talking about your own story, as you sort of start writing, things just come to you and you think, oh, yeah, that would be wonderful. That was an incredible experience. And it sort of just developed from there.
Exactly. Now, did you keep everything in the book, or just are we skimming the surface only?
No, actually, I think I was pretty honest. And I have to say I was very lucky. Both my husband and my son read it and were okay with it. Because I didn't want, I wanted to tell my story. And I'll tell you what, I think writing your story, even if you never want to publish it, I think is the most beautiful gift you can give to your children.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to write my story very honestly. I mean, there were moments there where I sat in front of the computer and tears would just be streaming down my face about my childhood and my parents and so on. But I wasn't sad. And my husband would come in and would say, oh, come on, let's go sailing. You can't be sitting here crying. And I said, oh, no, but I'm having such a good time.
Why are you doing?
Wow, no, crying in my face.
I'm okay.
I'm okay.
Now,
No, it was wonderful. And, it gave me such an appreciation of my life.
Wow.
Looking back, because I think when things happen to you, it's very difficult to sort of see the whole picture. And writing the book sort of gave me the opportunity to look back at my life and connect the dots and realize how circumstances and events always turned out so perfectly, even if it didn't seem like that at the time. And I think that's really important to remember when you go through tough times, because you can't see the whole picture. You don't know what this is for.
Right.
But looking back, it's just the right people came into my life at the right time. I had amazing mentors, and I was incredible. I've been incredibly fortunate.
Now, I'm going to go back to when you were little.
Yeah.
And being, I don't know, as a youngster, though, with no parents.
Right.
I mean, how did you pick yourself up to say, I'm going to move on and go do something?
Well, I think that I always say that our challenges also become our greatest teachers and often leave us with some incredible gifts.
Right.
And although the passing of my mother was very, very traumatic for me, it also gave me the determination to really live my life fully and follow my passions, do what brings me joy. Because she had so much and she, didn't get there.
I can feel what you're, with
So
the emotion of what you're saying.
maybe not even consciously at that age, but I was just determined to, to live my life, because this is not a dress rehearsal. You don't get to do it over, You got to go for it. And I was in many ways maybe lucky because, it was in the 70s, and we didn't have computers. You didn't have any idea. I had no idea what was involved, really. Maybe if I had known, I would have thought I couldn't possibly do that, but I didn't know. And so all I had was a burning desire to follow my passion, and that's what set me on my journey to become the first female airline pilot. And I failed hopelessly the first time I did my exams. I did a whole year of home study course with the help of my instructor, still failed hopelessly the first time.
Right.
And then you sort of have to, and all my friends were saying, oh, Cookie, don't worry about getting your commercial license. Just stay with your private pilot license and have fun.
You had bigger dreams, man.
At that point, you have to make the decision. Are you going to believe, buy into the belief system, what others feel you're capable of, which we so often do. Or you can just trust. And I always say you never are given a dream without also having the ability to achieve it.
Right.
You just have to really go for it.
Okay. Now, I'm going to ask you the on-the-grind question.
Right.
And for you, the on-the-grind question is, being this little girl, and you're out there, you want to do something. Say you're talking to all the other little girls out there, or little boys, whoever, that want to do what Cookie's done.
Right.
What can you tell them to inspire them to stay on the grind?
To just trust. First of all, follow your joy, because I always say it's like following the breadcrumbs. It will always lead you to your passion.
Right.
And when you come across something and you say, wow, wouldn't it be wonderful if I could do that, which we so often do. And then that little voice comes in the back of your mind, I don't think I could do that. If you listen to that voice, you will never follow your dreams, because it always keeps you in a safe place.
Exactly.
And in order to live an exciting life, you just simply have to get out of your comfort zone.
Right.
And you just have to trust, even if it doesn't seem like that if if you have a dream, you also have the ability inside of you to achieve it. You just got to trust that, and then just keep taking one step. And people, if you're excited about what you do, if you, on fire about your passion, people will come up to help you. People have come to. I have had so many amazing people come into my life to take me to the next step.
There you go, and that's what has to happen.
That's what has to happen, and we all need mentors. We all need people that pick us up when we're down, when we feel like we're not going to be able to do this.
There you go.
Yeah.
Now, are you still flying?
Actually, I'm not flying anymore at the moment. I'm rethinking about getting my license.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is there going to be a second book?
I don't know. I think we'll see what life brings.
Okay. And I mean, there may be
There
another. Maybe.
Very well might be.
Okay.
This was so much fun to do, and I
Right.
loved it, and I've been quite candid in it. So it's sort of my journey from childhood and how I, and my way of thinking of, looking at life and so on.
Nice. Now, what's next for Cookie? Where can we see you?
I'm speaking at different. It's all on my website. All my speaking engagements are all
Okay.
on my website. I love sharing my story. I love being an inspirational speaker, and that's also something that I sort of feel so incredibly fortunate that now in my 60s I'm able to completely reinvent myself and go on this amazing journey of being an author and speaker. I mean,
Wow.
how lucky is that?
And quickly, where can we get this book?
You can get it on Amazon, on Kindle. You can get it off my website with free shipping in North America.
Okay. Nice.
Nice.
Miss Cookie Lowe, it was a pleasure having you.
It was so much
And
fun. Thanks,
It was
Valentine.
my pleasure having you.
It was fabulous being
So
on. Thank you for
come back and see
asking
me again sometime.
I will do.
This is Cookie Lowe. I want to thank the land of Deborah for coming through. I'm your man Valentine. If you think it's your time to shine, you need to get on the ground with your man Valentine. Hit me up at Twitter, Facebook, on the street. Go ahead, wherever you want to see me. Go ahead and hit me up, though. We out.
Thanks.
Time.